Soda. Welcome back to Pagitt Radio. We end our program each week with a segment that we call Right On, where someone gets the right on, someone who has done something in this world that is the way that it's supposed to be, someone who has remade, has reinvited, has re-stimulated life in our world in the way that it ought to be. And so we end the first hour with the moaning, with the groaning, with the crying out of cripes and come on, you've got to be kidding me. And then we are encouraged in the end of the second hour with a segment that inspires us to be the kinds of people who make the world the way that we want it to be. And this one comes out of a newspaper article, and I'm actually going to share the whole newspaper article with you. I was going to break it up. I was going to make it all conversational, and I think it's better just to hear it. The article is about a guy named Ruben Rosario. Ruben Rosario's story is worth hearing. Where's the best place to start telling the life story of Charles Roscoe Heaton? We could start with the most recent chapter and work our way back. That would be this weekend when the 37-year-old Minneapolis resident and native graduate, Minneapolis resident and Georgia native, graduated with a Juris Doctor degree from the University of St. Thomas Law School. That makes him a lawyer. Or we could start 6 years ago when, unable to find work, he was found panhandling and living in his car under the highway of a bridge near Atlanta Emory's University, where he had graduated a few years earlier. Or perhaps we could go back 21 years to the source of the reason that Heaton was denied employment, even as a fry cook at Burger King. That would be aggravated assault conviction at age 17 that cost him 34 months in jail and prison time. Maybe we can go back to his childhood and adolescence, watching his prostituted mother shoot heroin between her toes, or the drug-addicted late father led away in handcuffs. Sometimes I would come home from school and there would be no one there because the cops took them away, Heaton recalled last week over coffee. It would go on for months. From a child of incarcerated parents to convicted felon to law school grad. Quite a tale, but one worth telling, for Heaton has overcome obstacles through resiliency, perseverance, and persistence. Some of Heaton's strongest boosters hail from the law school's faculty. Roscoe is a testament to the fact that there are no throwaway people, and that given the right amount of support, system, faith, and resources, the cycle of poverty and incarnation can be broken, one of the directors of the law school said. Heaton was forced to grow up too fast in downtown Atlanta's crime-plagued low-income housing projects. His late grandmother, his mother's elderly sister, and sometimes George's foster care system became his surrogate parents during his chaotic relocation from home. He fell in with the wrong crowd while he was in high school, binge drinking, taking LSD, and committing petty crimes. Then came August 14th, 1991, the day that Heaton turned 17, when he was accused of pointing a gun at a neighbor youth and threatening to blow his head off. Heaton told a different story to the cops. He was confronting a bully who was picking on his younger half-brothers. The accosted youth's mom pressed charges. Heaton was convicted and sentenced to a 4-year prison term. The boy's mother had no clue that Heaton would see prison time. She had pressed charges solely to teach the boy a lesson. I never dreamed that they would have sent him to prison, she told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which profiled Heaton's futile search for a job after college. That breaks my heart. But prison may have been the best thing for Heaton. It was there that he got his GED, as well as his desire to go to college and become a lawyer. It was there that he saw his father, then locked up on auto theft charges. The two men passed each other while heading to and leaving the prison mess hall. I saw him, he recalled last week. I kept staring. He looked at me, but he didn't know who I was. Heaton returned to his cell and dropped to his knees in prayer. I saw my future. I didn't want to keep coming back. That's when I decided to change my life. Scoring 1,360 out of 1,600 on his SAT test, Heaton first enrolled in Georgia's Young Harris College. He became president of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. He kept his electronic ankle bracelet, a condition of his early parole, out of view. He transferred to Emory in 1999 and graduated with honors, but he found out that his felony record trumped a college degree, even from a prestigious university. He applied for a white-collar and social service jobs and frequently got second interviews, but the criminal background checks snuffed out any desire to hire him. He wrote to judges, politicians, and local media about his frustrations trying to find a job. He dressed to the nines in a business suit. He kicked off panhandling campaign near his alma mater. The 2005 newspaper profile led to jobs at a cabinet shop and a gym. He used his savings to establish Flowers for Heavens. For a fee, Heaton delivered flowers intended to grave sites. The self-employed business did well enough for Heaton to buy a home on a lake in a nice part of town. But his desire to go to law school, to become a criminal defense attorney and provide top-quality legal representation for indigent clients. He applied to more than 20 law schools. He answered the felony questions truthfully. No one accepted him. The common explanation? He didn't meet the school's academic criteria. On a dare, he applied to 5 other law schools but didn't admit that he was a convicted felon, and all 5 schools accepted him. Then one day, he spotted an online free application offer from the St. Thomas School of Law in Minneapolis. The school accepted him despite his felony, and he headed north. While juggling classes, Heaton performed more than 500 hours of community pro bono work and developed a business model for Brotherhood, Inc., a nonprofit that provides job skills and other services for at-risk African-American youth in St. Paul. He also clerked for the ACLU and the Federal Public Defender's Office in Washington, D.C. He spoke to inmates at state prisons about his own experience. He made the dean's list and was editor of the Law School Journal of Law and Public Policy. Heaton has accepted a job as a law clerk with the Colorado State Public Defender's Office. He plans to take the bar exam this summer and begin working cases once he gets his license to practice. Heaton skipped Saturday's commencement ceremony. The only 2 people he still has a relationship with in his family, his aunt and her husband, are too elderly to travel. I tell people that most important degree that I got was my GED that I got in prison. Yet he sent out 200 invitations to Saturday's ceremony. The recipients, former teachers, relatives, and others who told him that he was a loser. I didn't send them out to boast or to make them feel bad, but to actively thank them because they gave me the motivation to prove them wrong, he said. That's what keeps me going, proving people wrong, and that some people do deserve second chances. So good for you. Good for you, Ruben Rosario, to tell us the story of Charles Heaton's life. Good for you to be someone who says that there's stories out there that should be cheered on. I mean, good for Charles Heaton that he created something out of his life. It could have been so much more difficult. And good to you, Ruben Rosario, of the St. Paul Pioneer Press, for telling the story that we all need to hear, that there are no losers, that everybody deserves a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance, that the story of this world is that even those who are down and out, even those who struggle the most severely, that it is your faith, that it is your strength, that it is your hope, and that it is your love. And you may be someone who crosses paths with those people this week. You may need to be the one who tells the story, or pats someone on the back, or says, hang in there and keep going. Or maybe you're the one who has kept going, and if you did keep going, tell the story. And then the rest of us who hear them, we'll tell the stories of those who kept going. So from Doug Pagitt Radio, may your hope bring us hope. May your faith bring us faith. May your love bring us love. And may your strength bring us strength. And we'll tell these stories again next week on Doug Pagitt Radio.